Hello and welcome to Everyday Petrolhead. I'm your host Terrence Anderson and welcome to my channel. So I'm doing this backwards. I actually finished putting the axle on first, but basically after going through a bunch of checks, we ended up finding out that the axle was the reason why the car kept wobbling and shaking like crazy. I changed the control arm, I changed the lower control arm, I checked everything, as you can see from the previous videos, and nothing was solving the problem. And it ended up being the axle was just bad. And it took 2 days to get that half shaft, that piece of the half shaft out of there. That was a pain in the butt. And there's so many things I had to do to get that done. And then the other half of the axle is all the way over there onto the other wheel, because that's how fed up I was. So all that's left to do at this point is to finish tightening all the bolts and do a test drive, which I'll probably end up doing tomorrow morning, because on the way to the office I'll take a test drive. Oh, on the way to the office it will be a test drive, and then we'll go from there. And I'll conclude the video then, and we'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed that this is it, but the axle was in dire straits and I didn't even notice it. Actually, if you go back to the bearing check video, when you saw that wobble where there was a gap where it just didn't seem like it was connecting, like it was doing like this and it wasn't really touching, that should have been the sign and I didn't realize it. So we resolved it. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so I've been fighting with this thing for a while and I am tired of dealing with it. So instead of me killing myself, I decided to rent the axle puller, because for some reason banging on it with the sledgehammer was just not working. So since that's not working, I'm going to force this darn thing out of here the hard way. So the goal, push the axle all the way out, and then I can get it off. I've already disconnected everything. I guess you could say the assembly for the wheel is just basically hanging on by that bolt right there. Once I get the axle pushed in, I should be able to get it finally out of the car. And just like that, the axle is out of the wheel bearing. So now I need to get the other end out, which is going to require a crowbar. All right, success. Well, half success. Half of the darn thing came out. So now I got to wrestle with that part, and this is going to take a while.
Eventually.
Okay, so after fighting with it for days, finally got the darn thing out. And it doesn't look like it's bad or leaking or anything like that, but this is the other part of the culprit. Essentially, the drive shaft basically failed. So I'm glad I finally got the darn thing out. So now it's time to put the new one in. All right, the new drive shaft is in. Getting it in wasn't hard. It was just so hard to get it out. And the problem seems to be that this little clip right here would not let me get it out when the axle decided to split from the other part of the shaft. It's like all the way over there. I hate this darn thing. I can't believe it was a problem this whole time. I changed all the control arms and everything else, but no, it was the axle. So I'm gonna go ahead and assemble it. Sorry I'm not filming while I'm doing it. It was kind of hard. I don't have my tripod at the moment, and trying to film and do all this work where I needed both hands was not gonna happen. So I will put it together and I will let you know how it goes. All right, it took a bit of doing, but I finally got it in. And I'm just hand tightening it for now. I might try to tighten it as much as I can, but kind of running out of time this morning. My wife has to go ahead and head off to work, so I'm going to get this on as much as possible, and then this evening when she gets home, I'll tighten it up, and hopefully by then we would have retrieved my tripod so I can finish the job, and you guys can see a little bit of the work. All right, that's it for now. The brakes have been put back on. The axle has been connected to the wheel bearing, and I just have to tighten everything up. I'll take care of that when the boss lady gets back home.
Later.
All right, we're done. It's assembled, tires back on, everything's looking good. Tomorrow morning, I take it for a quick test drive before I head off to the office, and we'll see what's going on. All right, so it's done, and to be honest with you, this has to be one of the hardest things I've done so far with this car. It took 2.5 days to get done, but you know, I didn't have every exact tool that I needed, but I had all the sockets I needed. So the bigger thing was getting leverage on all the bolts. But here we are, it's back on, new axle. A little later on, I'll probably do the one on the right. Right now, it's not causing any problems. It was literally this one. So tomorrow we'll do a test drive and we'll see how it's doing. And hopefully no more shaking. All right, so it's the next morning and I'm driving and everything seems to be better. I do still have a little bit of vibration, but it could be a couple of different things. I know that I need new tires. I finally wore these out. And also, it's possible that I'm still having a little bit of an issue because I still have a little bit of an oil leak. Not too much. So it's not too bad, but still enough for it to be a problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and deal with that. But in the meantime, yeah, it looks like this is a success. Don't be afraid to try to do things yourself on your vehicle. This was probably the most arduous endeavor I've ever tried on this car so far. We have a couple more to go, but suffice to say, I will check this off as solved. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Like, share, and subscribe.